I now have the pleasure of being able to introduce the Honourable Mary Ann Thomas, Minister for Agriculture and Minister for Regional Development in Victoria, Victoria Agriculture. Mary Ann Thomas was first elected to Parliament as the Labor member for the regional seat of Macedon in 2014. She has a strong appreciation of the needs of people living in regional communities, having grown up in a small farming community in northeastern Victoria. Prior to being elected to Parliament, Minister Thomas worked across the public, private and community sectors, including as a communication executive at the Department of Premier and Cabinet, NAB and Plan International. She was appointed Minister for Agriculture and Minister for Regional Development in December 2020, having previously served as Cabinet Secretary between 2016 and 2020, as well as Parliamentary Secretary for Health for over 2 years, from 2014 to 2016, and Parliamentary Secretary for Carers between July and November 2016. Since her appointment, Minister Thomas has travelled to every corner of our state, meeting with businesses, farmers, local councils and community organisations. Minister Thomas is proud to be part of the state government that is delivering record funding for regional communities. She's focused on a strong COVID recovery for regional Victoria through investments that support regions to thrive and become better places to live, work and visit and invest. Minister Thomas, thank you very much for joining us, and I take pleasure in passing over to you.
Thank you so much, Jonathan, for that very warm welcome. It really is a great honour and pleasure to be joining with you today, even if it is over Zoom, a technology that we have all become very adept at over the last couple of years. Can I begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the lands on which we are gathered? I'm joining you today from Tangarang country here in Victoria. I wish to pay my respects to Aboriginal elders past and present, and to acknowledge any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people who may be joining with us today. So to Ram Akella and David McNeil, the co-chairs, can I acknowledge you, and it's quite a mouthful, the National GS1 Traceability Advisory Group. Here in Victoria, we're very proud of the work that we are doing, and I wanted to just touch on a few highlights with you, if I may. Obviously, traceability is increasingly important, and we need to be investing to ensure that we're meeting the demands of a more complex marketplaces and consumers that are very attuned into the products that they're purchasing, and they are wanting to know not just that their food is safe, but increasingly we see the opportunity for a marketing advantage as consumers look to know the people and the stories behind the products that they are purchasing. So as I said, we're not just about protecting consumers, but we're about enhancing the profitability, the productivity and the sustainability of farm businesses to drive growth in local and export markets. As I said, traceability can provide that peace of mind to consumers, but it certainly delivers that assurance to trading partners that is increasingly important. Our export success here in Victoria in our international markets relies on our ability to assure consumers that our product is premium, safe and genuine. Now I'm talking, as you would expect, as a proud Victorian, quite parochially, but this applies right across Australia. We have a reputation that we need to protect, and it's in all of our interests to do all the work that is necessary in order to do that. So we are committed to building capability in traceability and integrity systems here in Victoria. And to that end, have made a number of significant investments. In our last budget, we invested $11.7 million to transform traceability systems. And we have also invested $15 million in our food to market program, which is assisting businesses, our food, our primary produce to market as quickly and as efficiently and safely as we can. And that indeed relies on effective traceability systems. So we are proud that we've led the nation with our significant investment and our pioneering approaches, including, of course, as I'm sure you would all be well aware, to our livestock identification system. So electronic identification for sheep and goats is already a success, and we're continuing to build our capability traceability in the horticulture sector. Now, of course, as I'm sure you would know, the majority of Australian table grape exports come from Victoria. And in 2021, we recorded an export value of $411 million. This is remarkable given the constraints that we've all been working under, caused, of course, by the impact of COVID on supply chains, distribution, and markets right around the world. But we're already seeing the benefits of greater traceability efforts happening here in Victoria. Our citrus traceability pilot showed that fruit can be traced from orchards right along the supply chain, right through to overseas consumers. And I'll touch back again on that product differentiation point that I talked about earlier. It's not just about safety and regulatory requirements, but we have a great story here to tell. Our farmers are amongst the best in the world, and people want to get behind the product and know a little bit more about where it's from, who grew it, what their story was, and so on. And I'll digress for a moment and let you know that I had the good fortune only a couple of weeks ago at our Food and Wine Festival to meet with Nigella Lawson, and she was at pains to tell me how advanced we are in terms of food safety, how this is such a critical advantage for us here in Australia, and indeed that food safety translates in the community's mind and in the consumer's mind to that premium produce. So we have a reputation. I said that before. We need to do all that we can to protect it, but because of our reputation, we have so much more, I believe, a profitability to unpack, if you like, as using traceability systems to their full extent and really reaching into that premium, those premium markets with our produce. So the table grape and citrus traceability pilots, which are being led by the Australian Table Grape Association and Citrus Australia with $1.4 million of support from our government, will support continued export growth. And the pilots are using leading technologies, isotope testing, cool chain tracking, and orchard mapping to enhance traceability, safeguard the industry from fraudulent products, and ensure the integrity of Victorian premium fruit brands and varieties is protected now and into the future. The pilots will ensure the industry is better equipped to trace produce across supply chains to enhance safer food production and demonstrate premium quality attributes in an increasingly competitive market. Producers will also be supported to build their capability to use traceability technologies and to participate in assurance schemes that meet evolving consumer expectations. And it's certainly my belief that we will continue to see growth in that increasingly discerning consumer market. This is really exciting work, and I'm very proud of all that my department has achieved in leading this work in partnership with industry, because we value that partnership very strongly, and we need to work collaboratively to deliver what consumers and indeed growers need from us. So I'm sure that this exciting work will continue to secure a strong future for our horticulture sector, to agricultural traceability for export growth. I look forward to hearing more about these world-leading developments and hearing the outcomes of your webinar today. So it really has been a pleasure to join you, if even just for this short moment. Of course, I noted during my presentation, my computer kept telling me that my internet connection was unstable. What can I say? Welcome to regional Australia with unstable internet connections. So I apologise for that if I was dropping in and out, but I wish you all the best for a great conversation. And as I said, look forward to hearing more about the outcomes of today's event. Thank you very much.
Minister Thomas, thank you very much for that wonderful overview of the work that is underway, and for your formal welcome for all participants to our particular seminar today. I think just to touch on, I think, two very important concepts, I think, that came out of what you talked about, and that's reputation and trust, which very much lies at the core of traceability systems. And I think it's not just about consumer expectations, but also, I think, trust that builds between different regulators and different jurisdictions, both domestic and internationally. And I think that's one of the other core benefits that comes out of a good traceability system. So thank you once again for that.